It is a pleasure to meet you today. I'm from Australia. I'm 32 years old and I've been working here at Acet for 4 months now.
Wow.
Would
So
you like to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, nice to meet you, Justin. I am Vừng. I'm currently a student at Cornell University, but on a gap year in Vietnam.
Okay, very good. I understand that you won a scholarship to study abroad. Where in the world have you been studying?
So actually, I have studied in 2 countries. First one is in Japan for high school because I wanted to expose myself early to international education environment, so I chose Japan for high school. And then for college, the US offers a lot of scholarships, so I proceed to go to study university in the US.
Great, sounds wonderful. Do you have some advice for students who are hoping to earn a scholarship and do something similar?
I think that if I could go back in time and advise my younger self on how to better apply for scholarship, I would keep a journal for myself every day, because I find that when I was writing college application essays, I had to reflect back a lot on what I did, and sometimes I forget all of the details. So I think keeping a journal day by day and just write down your daily activities will help tremendously in ideating what to write.
Okay, great ideas. Another question. What are some things that you have learned during your time overseas?
For me, I think one of the newest thing I learned was about the employment market, surprisingly. So the biggest difference between college and high school is that I have to prepare myself for a career. And in the employment market in the US, it's much more competitive than in Vietnam. I have to apply for internships starting from freshman year of college, and that was a lot of pressure for me. But then I feel like I also grow up a lot to appreciate money and labor much more. So I think that's just a part of growing up.
How have you coped with being away from family and friends?
I think that since I already had some experience in high school, I carried that knowledge onto college. So I would call my family and friends about once every week. And then I also know that I'll be back home for the holidays or summer vacation anyway. So I would take that as an inspiration or motivation for me to work harder during the year and then return and tell them what I did during the year.
Great. What do you think is the greatest challenge that you had to overcome while studying abroad?
I think the biggest challenge is independence. I know that I have always been an independent child growing up, but then the level of independence required to do well in college is so much more. I have to balance between going to classes in college, applying for jobs, managing relationships, friendships, and making time for doing YouTube, which is my hobby as well. So I feel like all of that at once might be a little bit stressful, but my school also offers resources to help, such as centers where I can go and ask advice from seniors or professionals in the psychology field.
Great, okay. You spoke about many things that you have to manage all
Yes.
at once. Do you have any time management tips for students?
Yes, I do. I actually use a lot of digital tools to help me manage my time. For example, throughout the day, I would use Google Calendar. It has a very special feature where I can take blocks of time for my classes. And when people want to set a time with me, they can also book me through a Google Calendar link. And other than that, I usually study with Pomodoro method. It's a method where we study for 25 minutes continuously, then take a 5-minute break, and I find that really helpful.
Very clever. Okay. Some students would love to study abroad, but they tell me that they feel a little bit nervous and unsure if they could handle it. What advice would you give a student who's feeling a little nervous about going abroad?
I think one of the biggest motivation that keeps me going is finding a long-term goal. instead of viewing studying internationally as a chance to like travel abroad or just to meet new people, because you can do that anywhere, and those small motivations can fade away very easily when you face challenges. But having a long-term goal, for example, for myself, I want to contribute to the education system of Vietnam when I return. I feel like every time I want to give up, if I think back on that, I have so much more energy to keep going.
Great. So currently you're studying at Cornell University in the US?
Yes, that's right.
What are you doing back in Vietnam?
I'm actually taking a gap year. As I shared before, I'm still exploring the employment market, so I want to try out a few more different career paths before I finish college. So I'm doing an internship in the media industry for this semester.
Okay, fantastic. What do you plan to do once you've finished your gap year and finished your studies at university?
I'm actually not very sure what I want to do, and that's exactly why I'm taking a gap year to figure out that answer, and I'm very excited to discover what I will learn during this year.
I agree. When you're not so sure about what you should do, the key is to try many new things.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well that brings us to the end of our speaking test. It was a pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you so much, Justin.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
I will, and you too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey. Hello, Justin.
Hello again. All right. So I have some feedback on your speaking exam.
Thank you.
Everything was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
You've clearly been practicing your English for a long time.
Yeah.
Dedicated to your studies. Honestly, I can't think of a single pronunciation error. I can't think of a single grammatical mistake. You're very confident and fluent when you speak. So my only feedback I can think of is fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Very great speaking.
Thank you. Probably it's because I have a chance to study abroad before, and also been very familiar with the format of the speaking test. So, and I also feel very comfortable to speak with you. You're so much more welcoming than a lot of examiners that I've met. So overall, it just adds up to my confidence to speak like that.
Okay, you did a great job.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Lovely to meet you again.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Justin.